All right, so it's full time in the first round of games in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. Main game has to do with that game, the biggest game of the round actually, at the Santiago Bernabeu. Real Madrid winning 2-1 against Atletico Madrid. What a game it was. It was actually a game that made us see or produce some very quality world-class goals. But then it's the 15-time champions that have the advantage after the first leg. They'll be traveling back to the Metropolitano, very, very close distance when they face their city rivals for the second leg in the next 6 days or so. But we'll be talking extensively and comprehensively about what actually happened in 90 minutes. Quality goal scored by Rodrigo. We saw an equalizer, standing one as well from Julian Alvarez. And then Brahim Diaz, he had to, leave Jose Maria Jimenez for dead before slotting that one past Jean Oblak. And it looks like Madrid, after a very, very shaky start to the season in the UEFA Champions League, are cruising gradually to a record-extended 16th UEFA Champions League title. I have my guests in the studio. They'll be talking to me and to you as well. They'll be breaking down, the tactical game plan from both coaches and what went wrong for the losing side, what actually went right for Real Madrid on the day. We'll definitely get to hear from them. I have Force, and then also I have Dalali in the studio. Welcome, gentlemen.
It's always a pleasure.
It was a beautiful game we witnessed. A classic UEFA Champions League game. 15 titles between two sides. Real Madrid with almost, the bragging rights coming into this one. But Force, I'll start with you about your thoughts, about the entire 90 minutes, and if you think Real Madrid were deserving winners of this one.
When it comes to football, okay, I connote the dominance of Real Madrid to the dominance of the Chicago Bulls in basketball in the late 80s and the early 90s. You understand? I mean, when Michael Jordan was in his aplomb. You understand? I mean, that is what Real Madrid has been able to create over the past couple of years. You're looking at a team that even when they are not at their best, you don't bet against them. You see, it's more like they have this assemblement with the gods that the gods always favor them.
You have the aura.
I've used the word aura for quite a while. I just want to. You see, nobody can pinpoint what really works for Real Madrid.
Simple.
We
Champions League Antichrist.
Yeah. We've talked about mentality. We've talked about being smart. We've talked about the leadership style of Florentino Perez. But even before Florentino Perez came, there was a Ramon Calderon. And that Ramon Calderon, they had won the Champions League. They had been the best. So it is a conglomeration of a lot of factors, right? That the other clubs are not able to, conjure. The other clubs are not able to put together. You understand? Because if anybody had let's say, forecasted that Real Madrid were going to win this game, a lot of people would have doubted, because coming into this game, Atletico Madrid were on top. You understand? I mean, we all saw the form that they are in and the last match that they played. You understand? Atletico should have won that game. But prior to the start of this game, I had clearly indicated that matches between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid tend to favor Real Madrid more, even if they don't have the upper hand, because there's an inferiority complex when it comes to Atletico Madrid. They see themselves as second fiddle. You remember the Champions League where they had only a minute on the clock to win the Champions League, and then they let it go. You understand? So there's always that side of Atletico Madrid whenever they are meeting Real Madrid. But tactically, I think that both sides were brilliant. What we had indicated were the mistakes in the first half, Ancelotti was able to correct it. Diego Simeone kept to his guns, kept to his tactical disposition. In the second half, I'm not going to blame him so much for the goal that he conceded. It's a player's fault. You understand? I mean, these things do tend to happen. But on the totality of everything, I would say that it was a beautiful game, both from a tactical aspect. But you see, the attacking players of both teams did not come to the party. None of them came to the party. Kylian Mbappe was missing for 90 minutes. Vinicius Junior was missing for 90 minutes. Rodrigo was missing for 80 minutes because
after that goal,
we didn't see his
he
was missing.
Yeah.
You understand? So it was more. It was more a generic something that we had seen instead of the top guns coming to the party. So yes, I mean a commanding lead for Real Madrid in the first leg. I don't know what the second leg is going to throw us, but I mean surprises are going to come. But on the whole, I would say that it is good for Ancelotti because he's seriously under pressure. Because remember, he has let go of an 8-point lead in the Spanish La Liga. So the Champions League is an outlet for them to get something meaningful going this season. And they have done just that. It is not near what we saw when they played against Man City, both legs. But at the end of the day, the most important thing when it comes to football is getting the 3 points. Yeah. And that's exactly what they have been able to do.
But Delali, would you say a 2-1 scoreline after 90 minutes is a true reflection of the game we witnessed? Atletico being dominant. We saw them in midfield, how they were able to boss the midfield, around. They really kept the ball to themselves. But then, would you say a 2-1 scoreline is a true reflection of this game? And then also, defensively, you were satisfied with Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, I think it's anybody that watched the game, especially in the second half, would say is a proper reflection of the game. Maybe the first half, you would say that Atletico deserved to lead in the first half. But I think in the second half, it's been all Real Madrid. It's quite disappointing to see the number of attempts that Real Madrid had and their chances that they created. They had over 0.7 SG. That means that they had at least a chance of scoring another goal in the second half, while Atletico were below 0.2 XG. Clearly tells you that both teams, Real Madrid were the side that wanted to score their goal in the second half. Prior to the game, you would expect Atletico to do more than what they did. But in summary, I think if you look at how both teams performed in the second half, especially, Atletico were just normal, basic in the second half, whilst Real Madrid did the basic important things. What I realized was, right in the second half, Ancelotti realized that Camavinga cannot continue because he was struggling. The team itself was lacking a ball progressor. In the first half, Atletico dominated in the midfield, so they needed somebody who can at least pass the ball very well, find the forwards. And he just brought in Modric, who basically solved every problem. When he came in, they managed to get to the second goal thanks to Brahim Diaz, which was an excellent goal by our standard. For me, the composure, if you look at the number of bodies in the box, for him to be able to have the composure and still hit on target, those are what makes Real Madrid apart from other players. Because this is a game that Real Madrid big names didn't really excel, as my brother said. Because Mbappe, in the whole 90 minutes, he was not really one of the best players. Rodrigo, after scoring the goal, was basically a passenger. But what Real Madrid has is a collective team. That's what you get from winners. You don't necessarily need the big players to play. They just need to be able to win the game. And I think that's what Real Madrid did in this game. For Atletico, they will look at this and be very, very disappointed. Because no matter the number of times that they've met Real Madrid, this is one of the moments where you would expect them to win. Because you are meeting Real Madrid in the moment where the last 5 games in the league, they've just won, I think, one game. So obviously you expect Atletico to be the better side going into the game, obviously. But in the 90 minutes that we've watched, I think, in my opinion, Real Madrid have been the deserving winner.
But gentlemen, let's look at one of the departments we were thinking would have been the strength of Atletico coming into the game. We've always known Diego Simeone's side to be, defensive minded. The orientation has always to be defend first before you even attack. You look at the league where they've kept the most clean sheets. Now in the Champions League, it's quite contrasting because in the 8 games they played in the group stages, they only managed 1 clean sheet. Would you say it's the defense that let them down? We saw the kind of goals they scored. Yeah, credit to the attackers' force, but you're looking at defensively Atletico Madrid, and whenever we mention defense, I think they are the first team that pops up because we've seen them, defend even against the best attacking teams in the world. Would you say after 90 minutes that they were just let down by the defense?
What does that? You say that you would have to segregate the two competitions. Okay, we are talking about La Liga and then the Champions League.
Yeah,
the Champions League has a tad more quality when it comes to attacking football. compared to the Spanish La Liga.
Right.
When you take Real Madrid, when you take Atletico Madrid themselves, when you take Barcelona out of the equation, the other teams do not have the depth, right, to trouble Atletico Madrid to the extent at which there are teams in the Champions League are going to threaten Atletico Madrid. So I would say that one reason or one probable cause for the reason why they are conceding a lot of goals in the Champions League is the fact that they are coming up against much more quality. That is one. And then secondly, you realize that in the Champions League, they are playing much more expansive football. You see, there's a contrast between the Atletico Madrid that we know, the traditional Atletico Madrid that we know, and Atletico Madrid that we see this season in the Champions League. Previously, we know Atletico is always going to be in the low defensive block and play on the
counter. Are they getting ahead of themselves, looking at the quality they have and the form in which they find themselves? Are they feeling like, see, we are invincible, even if we are coming up against the big boys? Let's try and hold on to the ball. Let's try and, show our quality.
No, it's not about it. It's about playing to the strength of the players that they've gotten, right? You see, a lot of people say that Cholo do not play to the strength of the players that he has because he's more of a defensive-minded coach to the extent that Joao Felix did indicate that he's not comfortable in the system that they've been playing. But you see, he has changed a bit. He has. Is
that not coming at the detriment of the team? You don't think that the Atletico success and that Simeone was actually built on a very strong defense?
Apart from losing to Real Madrid, they've not had a bad season. Apart from losing this particular game, I don't think Atletico have had a bad season. So
no, they haven't had a bad season, but it's taken it from an angle that they are considering a lot of goals in the Champions League. But you can justify that by saying that El Chapo is getting ahead of himself, right? Because at the end of the day, they are winning. In the league, they are doing very well.
I'm one of the few people that believe that clean sheet is overrated in football.
Really?
Yeah, the most important thing is winning the game.
It measures the success and also the strength of a defense. You can tell me
if I score 9, if I score 9 and you score 7.
But you can't score 9 in every game. That's the point.
I'm just saying that. Like I believe.
Yeah, we understand goals will win you games, but we know that solid defense because if you score 9 and I score 8, then perhaps you might have done something right defensively for me not to have scored 9 but in that same game.
I'm just saying that a team conceding goals doesn't necessarily mean that you are pretty much a bad side.
No, we are not talking about. We are talking about the strength of Atletico Madrid and how they are shipping in goals in a competition. We've seen them in the last 10 years make it to the final twice but fail to win. We are talking about an Atletico Madrid team that you would say largely their success in recent times has been built on a stable defense, which we are not seeing now. And there's been a change. We cannot attest to the fact that this Atletico Madrid team love to even dominate possession, even when they come up against Barcelona and Real Madrid. We've seen them do it. Right. Is it something that's actually changing the mentality of the team? If you look at Atletico from the 2010s to the 2020s, do you think a bit has changed about them?
Not necessarily, because you sometimes too you have to play according to the strength of the players you have. And look at the kind of quality he has now. He doesn't have that arrowhead in the then times when he used to have Diego Costa, who just a direct striker, hits the ball for him so that you can sit, defend, or that just give him one counter break.
But we saw one boy into the channel for Julian Alvarez and he made the most out of it.
So he's not like a lone striker. He strikes from the right. So as a coach, sometimes you need to develop your system based on the kind of quality you have. And for me, I am not going to say they are struggling, because this is they've been one of the best teams in Europe. Even in the English, the La Liga, they've been one of the best teams, both offensive-wise and both defending-wise. And coaches will tell you that the best way to attack is to defend. We've all complained about Simeone and how haram he has been sometimes. So if he's trying to be expansive, it's just unfortunate they played against a team that I call 6-6. Like if you lose to Real Madrid in the Champions League, like it's okay. It doesn't really reflect how good or bad you are. It's Real Madrid that you've lost to.
But how difficult would it be in the second leg, looking at Atletico? Yeah, it's a respectable scoreline. Losing to Real Madrid, this is the same side that battered City over 2 legs, and City were non-existent. Now you look at this Atletico team. Yes, they have the strength, they have numbers, they have depth in quality. We saw Charlotte being thrown in, we saw Nahuel Molina, we saw Gallagher. Do you think they still have what it takes, the mental fortitude, to get one past Real Madrid in the second leg for us?
Of course they have, and they do. You see, when it comes to a 2-legged affair, right? You don't put all your eggs in one basket, because Madrid has played poorly, but they've been able to take the win in the first leg. The second leg is going to throw a whole tactical disposition into the question. What is going to happen? Is Real Madrid going to sit back? I doubt they're going to sit back because of the quality that they have. Is Atletico going to go gung-ho, trying to get that goal? I don't think they're going to do that because it's 90 minutes. 90 minutes could go to extra time for another 30 minutes. So it depends on how you manage the game, right? And I think that, yes, the second half, Atletico Madrid did not manage the game very well. They managed the game better in the first half. So what is going to change come next week or next 2 weeks when they meet at the, what was the name?
Metropolitano.
Metropolitano. I believe that everything being equal, Atletico Madrid can knock Real Madrid out. Do you understand? Yes. I did say that Real Madrid was going to win this game. I get to the point because this is a Santiago Bernabeu. At your own fortress, that should give you some confidence, right? And when it comes to quality, Atletico Madrid can match Real Madrid boot for boot. Now you are at your own backyard. Are you going to go out there and play very well with so much confidence, with so much bravado, with so much verve, or you're going to go out there and be timid? So the question is, how are they going to line up? To me, I would prefer Atletico Madrid to have a go at Real Madrid. If they get beaten, they get beat. You understand? But if you see, one thing that a lot of people don't realize about this Real Madrid team is that if you have a go at them, you have a bigger chance of beating them. Real Betis showed us how to beat them. If you have the quality to have a go at them, have a go at them. Do you understand? If you do that, they become a bit shaky. They ask questions of themselves. Are they capable? Right? Or they are going to get under the pressure that you are going to give them. But it is all dependent on how Atletico Madrid is going to line up, right? Either in a 4-4-2, in a 4-2-3, it doesn't really matter. Have the confidence to have a go at Real Madrid. And should Atletico Madrid do that and then keep that defensive solidity, I think it's going to be a tough ask for Real Madrid to qualify.
Well, but let me bring you in, Delali. It's always going to be tough for Atletico Madrid, regardless of where the venue is. We've seen this matchup frequently in the past 8 seasons in the Champions League. We've not seen it from 2014 to 2017. They met 6 times, and each and every time they met, Madrid were superior. You think Atletico Madrid will be looking back? Yeah, it's not the same couple of players, but then there's Jan Oblak in the team. There's Jose Maria Jimenez in the team. There's still El Cholo, in the dugout. You think you'll be looking back and be saying, see, it's Real Madrid. There's nothing else we can do. Let's just give up.
I think they are going to come and play, but I don't see. I'm going to say it straightforward. I don't think the Atletico will be.
So you think Real Madrid will go through?
Real Madrid will win because, contrary to how we may think, Real Madrid actually were more offensive in this game than Atletico.
Yeah.
In the second half, like this, they had as much as 13 shot attempts, with 7 of them being on target. Atletico had as little as 3 attempts at goal in the second half. Clearly tell you that, in as much as Atletico have been in a high flying form going into this game, Real Madrid showed up and played better football, especially in the second half. I would not even better football, but more efficient. Because even in the first half, where Atletico had most of the possession, they were still not efficient in the game. And for me, in cup games like this, you don't only need to be possessive; you need to be very, very efficient. Create chances and be direct when you are playing. And I think that's what Atletico did. If you look at Real Madrid, they are not playing with their best 11. They have a lot of injury in the team, players playing in and out of position, mischief system, and they've been able to grind the results and win. A lot of us were expecting even a draw so that they will take the game to the second leg. But this time around, for Real Madrid to be able to win with this mischief system, Valverde not really being fit. Prior to the game, we were even doubting whether Valverde will play. Camavinga playing, we don't know what he's doing in the midfield. On a normal day, you are not expecting him to at least be in the midfield. If you look at the Real Madrid structure, this is a game that Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. played less than 70%. Like if you are rating them, you give them like 6 or the max. If you are being generous, you give Mbappe 7. So that means Mbappe has not performed at his maximum. Vinicius has not performed at his maximum. But Real Madrid have been able to win. So what happens if Mbappe shows up and says, I am playing like how I played against Manchester City. Vinicius Junior goes up and says, I am playing like how I played against
quite a lot could happen.
So you see.
So quickly before we check out, You are saying you still have that feeling that Atletico Madrid could, stage a comeback. You still stand by that, and you are saying it's just
I'll be extra.
it's totally game over.
I'll
for
call
Atletico.
it one of them comebacks. It's not going to be a whitewash. It's going to be an end-to-end game, but Real Madrid will qualify. Like,
It is not as if Madrid is going to the second leg with a 4-1, 3-1, or 5-1.
It's a 2-1 margin.
It's a 2-1 margin.
Madrid is leading you 1-0. It's Madrid.
I do accept that fact. I get to the point. But when you play matters, you might disagree with the fact that when you play matters, but at the end of the day, Atletico has got quality to trouble Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They had shown just 2 weeks ago, so a week ago, that they could play Real Madrid and play better. You understand? The way they played against Real Madrid in the league a couple of days ago, it's not the way that they played.
In the Champions League, right?
Yes.
You see, the Champions League, if you are leading Real Madrid 1-0 in the Champions League, it's 1-0 against you. If you are playing Madrid in the Champions League and you are leading 1-0, the 1-0 is rather against you because it's their league and it's their tournament. If it was the league game, Real Madrid, Atletico winning. But once it's Champions League, I don't
think
know
it comes with a different vibe. You think?
I don't know how I'm going to be. It's just like
guys, if you're struggling to find words to explain
they'll beat you,
how
like,
to describe Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League, but that's what actually happened after 90 minutes. Quite some exquisite goals being scored, by Brahim Diaz and then also Rodrigo Gorgeous. And then for Atletico Madrid, it was also a belter. A classic goal from the Argentine striker Julian Alvarez. And after 90 minutes in the first leg of the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League, it's Real Madrid with the advantage 2-1. They carry into the second leg round, or the second leg, if I should put it. Thanks so much, gentlemen. That's Falls, and then also Delali for making time. And to you out there, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It is a review podcast on the Media channel.